Hello everyone, welcome in. This is going to be an intuitive channeled reading using watercolor. For this one, we will be doing Leo. I always walk into these with a completely open mind. Like, I have no preconceived idea of what I'm going to get started on. Sometimes I'll get like a little bit of messages and maybe like quotes or something from a book to put into the video. But as far as like the actual art, you guys, it's been just as random and new to me as much as it is for you guys. Channeling and learning different ways on how to utilize my gifts has been really interesting. So thank you for being on this journey with me. I do have some about me videos if you want to go check that out, and other playlists. I'm pretty sure my business and my channel is going to morph and change pretty, I wouldn't say rapidly, but it's definitely changing, and I'm not 100% sure on what direction it's going, except that I feel more called to share more in different parts of my life and things that I'm getting into. As I'm rambling, like, I'm hoping that something will come up. I haven't even like figured out what color do I want to get started on. This purple's kind of calling to me. Okay, so right away I got an image of a flock of birds, specifically ducks, but birds in general. And then I saw a very specific flower. They tend to be in those hanging baskets, those flower hanging baskets, but I forget the kind of flower it is. They're also the same flowers in the Alice in Wonderland movie, where she's talking to the rose people, the flower people. If I find an image, I'll put it here. And for those that have been loyally watching the other videos and checking out the playlists, let me know what you guys think. I'm open to constructive criticism and feedback. At the end of the day, I'm always going to be creating for me, but you know, I am curious what my audience thinks and what you'd like to see more of. You know, as much as I want to just like do what I want, you know, I want to be considerate of also who's watching and supporting me, and I can't put food on the table if I don't consider those things, obviously. It's all about balance, right? Just something that's been on my mind a lot. And maybe that's a message for you, Leo. Maybe you could be a new parent, or you could be having different priorities in your life that's making you make adjustments. So I saw a river, and it was they want to highlight a very specific river that's like just very windy, and it feels like a one road, quote unquote, one pathway. And they're saying that whatever this area is feels personal to you. Maybe you feel free, spiritual. Or just maybe you have some nostalgic memories here. But for whatever reason, this feels significant. And then I got an image of a gardener snake. A gardener snake specifically, not just like a snake. And then I heard not Slytherin. Okay. Harry Potter reference. And that, okay. Specifically, I hear Hermione's voice. And she's saying, not Slytherin. Oh my gosh, the funniest channeling. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Oh, it's gotta be one of my most random favorite ones as of recent. Have you guys seen those TikTok videos of the puppets, of the reenactments of Harry Potter? Those are so funny. Yes, I am on TikTok. I have fun doing skits, personally. I know not everybody is about it, but every now and then I just do it. It used to be something that, like, I did as a creator and, like, I guess for my business and audience, but lately I've just been kind of just doing it for me and only putting out what feels good to me, things that feel fun. Otherwise it starts to feel like an obligation, and then I feel like I can feel it in the content that I put out. Does anyone else feel that way? Are there any other artists and creators that utilize social media and have like these challenges? Let me know. Curious. I hear it's pretty common. I saw like a supplement bottle that said vitamin C, and then I saw a lot of oranges. So I don't know, maybe you need a boost in vitamin C. Maybe you're buying oranges. And then I saw grapefruit specifically, so maybe different kind of orange things. And then I heard sour, not sweet. And then I saw orange chicken. And then, but I felt like they were originally trying to reference Sour Patch Kids. And then I saw an orange creamsicle. A lot of orange random things. Okay. Butterflies could be significant. Purple butterflies, maybe. Okay, they're showing me a place. Kind of feels like a beach tavern. And then I saw stone walls, like hedges. So that could be significant. And then I heard walls keep people out and boundaries keep people in. Well, I guess let's talk about that. I feel like as a recovering emotional codependent, they teach us this in Al-Anon. Learning boundaries and just the spiritual lesson in boundaries, I feel like is always going to be a thing in my life. Like, what was it, a year or two ago? I swore like I came a long way, and then I got hit with some recent lessons that told me that I definitely had some more healing to do, you know? And if you feel like you're in a cycle where there's some kind of obvious repeat patterns to you, or you're wondering like why certain things keep on happening, you might want to look into codependency, Al-Anon, things like that. I do share some of my personal experiences. A lot, and I have a video on that as well. A really good book I reference a lot when it comes to this subject is Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. He has some other books too. But to be honest, you guys, the first time I read that book was, somewhere between 2012 and 2015. And then I read it 2 more times in the last 7 years. And I still feel like I have a long way to go. It's one thing to know and read about boundaries. It's a completely other thing to implement it. And so maybe, Leo, you might be going through those kind of spiritual lessons in your life, maybe with people. And then I heard windows to your soul. Okay, I got that song earlier too. It's by Hilary Duff. How does it go? It's called I'm Coming Clean. And she's like, I don't know, I'm like getting the image of like rain falling down on a car window, or just a window in general. And I feel like a lot of people misunderstand boundaries, and they think it's about telling people what they are, which I do think telling people your boundaries is important, but you only got to do it like 1 or a few times, and then by then it's them knowingly making a choice that harms you. And so the boundary is, hey, this is how you can stay in my life, or I will have to protect myself and withdraw. Now, a wall is different. Let me think of an example of this. I feel like when you don't give a compromise, when you're too rigid, when you're not really putting up a line or boundaries to protect you or the other person, it's more about control, that's a wall. Otherwise, boundaries is totally out of love for yourself or for someone else. The point of boundaries is to keep a connection. But we can't control other people's free will, and that comes with being a codependent, right? Being a codependent means that you're trying to control narratives or a situation, and that can come with withholding information against someone's detriment, to where it could potentially inform them of making different choices, things like that. We're getting really deep into this, you guys. I really didn't see this conversation going there. And then I got like an image of stained glass. And maybe that's why this is turning out this way. Because it turned into like, it started as a beach tavern, and then it kind of is feeling almost like a church. A church with stained glass. Like almost like an old cathedral church. Never know where these are going. So much fun. Like, I'm usually the kind of painter that has some kind of idea of what I want to create, but the intuitive channeling has really forced me to let go and let God, to be honest. And before I even started, playing with the cards and realizing that I had a gift of reading tarot, I was doing watercolor. And the reason why I felt called to watercolor is because it was forcing me to surrender. Watercolor is completely different than, using acrylic and all the other paints, right? And so I feel like there was some kind of spiritual lesson in that. So it's really felt like things have come full circle when I started putting these out. Leo, you might actually be going back to a childhood hobby that you have put on the back burner or thought that, I don't know, it wouldn't play a significant part in your life, but it actually will. If you have children, this might also be something that you hand down or your children will inherit from you as well. Feels very positive, and it feels like a level of shadow work that maybe you weren't expecting. Like, say you're a parent and you're raising a child and you're kind of seeing those shadow aspects come up, and a lot of people don't talk about that, especially mothers. Mothers are so pressured to be a certain way and present themselves and be all the things, right? And that's a lot of pressure, especially when your identity is changing while your children are growing up. It is so freaking fascinating. So many spiritual lessons in being a mother and a parent. And maybe you're having some pretty deep thoughts about this with Mother's Day coming up even. I got the image of a pond and like lily pads and some like really tall type of grass that would be in like swampy pond areas. I got an image of bamboo, and then I got an image of a panda, and then I saw a Buddha. You could possibly lean on or be leaning into Buddhist type of values or quotes. I'm a believer. It's like I don't subscribe to a specific religion personally. I think everything has a meaning and they're all right in some way. I'm like, whatever makes you a better person, and like all the things I've read about that culture I was like, I don't see how you could really argue with that, you know? I also had an image of Bashar. Have you guys seen? Some people have different opinions about that, and I would say it's basically the same. Whether you think it's real or not, I'm like, how can you really argue with whatever makes you a better person, you know? Leo, I feel like there's a message in there for you about that. Like maybe you're having this conversation with someone else, or that's a philosophy that you're kind of leaning on. I saw an image of corn and then specifically elotes. You guys know what that is? So good. So good. Hispanics would know. Okay, they want me to say, for those that don't know, it's Spanish street corn, basically. Got like an image of a market and like a swap meet. Then I saw a baby stroller. Okay. Definitely highlighting Leos that are a parent, or might be taking care of little ones. Okay. They want me to stop there. I think that's the first time they like clearly told me to stop. So anyway, I hope that was fun for you to watch, Leo, and that you got some kind of positive message out of that. Let me know in the comments. Feel free to reach out if you need a personal reading and check out my links. But until next time, bye.